Hello everyone, this is Keith Jackson and welcome to Jack's Math Notebook. In this video, we're going to acquaint ourselves with the point-slope form of a linear equation. And we say it like this: y minus y sub 1 is equal to the slope, which is m, times the quantity of x minus x sub 1. We use the point-slope formula to help us find the y-intercept form of a linear equation. In other words, we're going to find y equals mx plus b. And here are four examples that will help us understand how to arrive at the y equals mx plus b form of a linear equation. And so in this case right here, so we have y minus y sub 1 is equal to the slope times the quantity of x minus x sub 1. And here is our point for this first one, 3 comma 4. And just 1 point, all we need is just 1 point and the slope. And in this case, the slope is 2/3. And so what we're going to do, we're just going to plug in the coordinates of this point into the point slope formula. And so with that in mind, we're going to take 4, we're going to plug that in for y right here. And then we're going to take this 3 and we're going to plug it in for x right here and see what happens and see how we arrive at y is equal to 2/3 x plus 2. And here's how that's going to work. And so now we have y minus 4 is equal to 2/3 times the quantity of x minus 3. And now what we're going to do, we're going to distribute this 2/3 inside the parentheses to arrive at this part of the next, or I should say the next step as to getting right here. And so we know that y minus 4 is equal to 2x minus 6/3 because we distribute this 2/3 inside the parentheses to arrive at this part. So now here's what we're going to do now. We already know that 6 divided by 3, or I should say a negative 6 divided by 3 will give us a negative 2 right here. This is why we have it here. And so now we have y minus 4 is equal to 2/3 x minus 2. And what we're going to do to make this possible, we're going to move the 4 to the other side. We're going to add a 4 to both sides to get y all by itself, just like you see right here. And so when we add 4 to both sides, here's what's going to happen. We're going to get y all by itself is equal to 2/3 x plus 2, because a negative 2 plus 4 will give us a positive 2. And so our final result is y is equal to 2/3 x plus 2. And let's do the same thing with this one, in which we have our point at 5 comma negative 1, with a slope of 2/5. And we're just going to plug in our numbers. We're going to plug in the negative 1 right here, and we're going to plug in the 5 right over here. And here's what's going to happen. All right, and so when we do that, we know that if we have a double negative right here, it's actually going to turn into a y plus 1 is equal to a negative 2x, because now we're going to distribute, I should say, let us distribute that first. We have a 2/5 times a quantity of x minus 5. And so when we distribute that, we have 2x minus 10/5, because when we distribute that, this is what we get. Now we can go back to our plus 1. And so here's what happens in our final step. Now we have a y plus 1 is equal to a 2/5 x minus 2. And we're going to subtract 1 from both sides in this case, because we want to get y all by itself. And when we do that, we find ourselves with our final outcome of y is equal to 2/5 x minus 3. And let's move on to our third example, in which we have as our point negative 4 comma negative 1, and our slope is negative 1/4. And we're just going to plug everything that you see here right here. We're going to plug in the negative 4 right here, and we're going to plug in our negative 1 right here. And we're going to distribute this negative 1/4 inside the parentheses. But before we do that, we have to know that we have this double negative right here, which will turn into a plus sign right here. Then it will be safe for us to distribute the negative 1/4 inside the parentheses. In the meantime, we can turn this double negative into a positive. And so now what we have a y plus 1 is equal to a negative 1/4 x plus 4. We're going to distribute this negative 1/4 inside the parentheses. And here's what we have now. We have y plus 1 is equal to a negative 1/4 x minus a 4/4. And of course, when the numerator and the denominator are the same, it's going to come out to 1. And so here's what we have right here. We have y plus 1 is equal to a negative 1/4 x minus 1. And we're going to subtract 1 from both sides to get y all by itself. And when we do that, our final outcome will be y is equal to a negative 1/4 x minus 2. And in our final example, we have a point at negative 5 comma 4. We're going to plug this point into our point slope formula, which again is y minus y sub 1 is equal to m times the quantity of x minus x sub 1 with a slope of negative 3/5. And when we plug that in, we're going to plug in our negative 5 right here. And we're going to plug in our 4 right over here. And here's what's going to happen. But before we continue, let us work inside the parentheses and turn this double negative into a positive that you see right here. And so now we have y minus 4 is equal to a negative 3/5 x plus 5. All right. So now we're going to distribute it right here before we do anything else. And so here's what's going to happen. So I'm going to repeat that step right here because we turned this double negative into a positive. So I'm just going to repeat this step right here. And so we have y minus 4 is equal to a negative 3/5 times the quantity of x plus 5. Now we can distribute the negative 3/5 inside the parentheses. And so now we have y minus 4 is equal to a negative 3/5 x minus 15 over 5. And we know that 15 divided by 5 will give us a negative 3 because it's a negative sign. So we know that right here is a negative 3 for now, right? Because here's what we have right here, and we have one more step to do, and that is y minus 4 is equal to a negative 3/5 x minus 3, because a negative 15 divided by 5 will give us a negative 3. And then finally, excuse me, what we're going to do right here, we're going to add 4 to both sides to get y all by itself. And when we do that, we have y is equal to a negative 3/5 x plus 1. Okay, and this is how you apply the point slope formula to help us find the y-intercept form of a linear equation, which of course is y equals mx plus b. Yeah, I've been given a lot of information. I wouldn't blame you if you need to pause the video and take a look at the 4 examples or replay this video as many times you need to gain a deeper understanding of the point slope formula. With that in mind, please comment, share, like, and subscribe to Jack's Math Notebook for more content. Thank you and goodbye.